It's a beautiful day here in Nagano. Balmy, 34, 35 degrees. Let's go for a ride. So it's, as I mentioned, it's like mid-30s, around 8 in the morning. I'm hiking up to one of the 4 trails up on this hill where I've been riding since we arrived. And I found these trails because I reached out to a gaijin who's been living here for a while and asked him, like, hey, are there trails I can ride to near, within the city? And he dropped a pin on a Google map and basically just said there's trails up here. And so I attempted to use my Wahoo GPS, which was more or less useless. Had to rely on instinct on how to just get up the hill first of all, and then once I got up the hill, I just had to start poking around for trails, and I found them. And I found the 4 trails so far. They're all super fun. This middle one, as you can see, requires you can't tell how steep it is, but steep enough that I have to push my bike up, hold the brake, push it up again to get to this peak, this little summit up here, and then it drops me down to a little residential neighborhood on the other side. I'm riding a decent amount, maybe 3 days a week or so, and it's pretty much the same climb up the same road to get to all the trails. I'm not bored of it yet because the season's changing and the leaves are spectacular, and it's pretty mellow. I just kind of grind up the road. Takes me about 35-40 minutes up the road to get to this one, and about an hour if I want to ride the Summit Trail. Summit Trail is by far the most fun. It's also the longest. It's like a, I don't know, 8 to 12 minute descent in 2 different parts, and super fun, kind of slalomy turns. a bunch of different kind of zones where you go through these pine forests, and this one's got that too. Normally I would leave on my little bear bell here to scare away the bears, but and to alert the hikers, but I think it's early enough in the morning that the bears aren't awake yet, and it's Monday morning, so there's nobody hiking up here on Monday morning. I've only seen one person hiking on one of these trails in the however many times I've ridden now. I don't know. So this is the top, and yeah, pretty spectacular leaves going on. Normally this descent takes me, I don't know if you can see the mountains there in the background. This descent takes about 4 or 5 minutes. It's fall, so there's a bunch of leaves on the trail, and it's almost hard to see where the trail goes in some spots. I'm gonna try and narrate while we're riding down. These top turns are super steep and super slow. I almost come to a full stop in a couple of them, and then it kind of opens up at the bottom. So let's take a look. So here we go, riding in the woods in Japan. I've got to exercise a little bit of speed control and turn that off, so I don't want to hear that the whole time. Because I am in the woods in Japan by myself, riding trails that are fairly new, and I've ridden this trail now maybe my 4th or 5th time, and super fun. As I mentioned, it's kind of hard to see where it goes because of the leaves all over. A little bump up over the top, little jump over some logs, and now it gets a little steep and a little technical, a little slow. Rub the tree with my shoulder, little rock zone, no problem. And now we get into the super tight turns down here. Pretty slick with all the leaves, but a lot of fun. Yeah, slippery. And as you can see, I'm almost coming to a full stop in some of these corners. I'm on my Santa Cruz tall boy. Shout out to Santa Cruz Bicycles with my chainstay. That is in no way sponsorship. I just love this bike. Got the chainstay in the long position right now, and it makes some of these tight turns super difficult to make. I've thought about switching it up to the short chainstay, but I don't have a work stand and I just can't be bothered. Now it's going to open up a little bit, but off on my right, it's a drop. It's steep. It's I wouldn't say it's a cliff, but you don't want to go down there. So got to keep it tidy. Whew. Tight little turns. These trails are all maintained by local riders. They exist in a gray zone whereby they're on city property, so they're legal-ish to ride, and the riders are up here, seems like every week, doing some sort of maintenance. A lot of trees fall, so they're often up here. They ride up that road that I rode up, chainsaw on their back, and chop the trees. get rid of the rocks, or the boulders rather, and keep these trails in order. I don't know if you heard that, but that was my handlebar. Scraping a tree, super fast, super fun to reverse before we drop into another steep section. And first time I rode this trail, there was a can of bee spray right there over that little knob that I came over, and I stopped to get it off the middle of the trail, and I noticed that there was some of those giant murder hornets flying around. So I moved the can and then I moved on real quick. So a little loose, getting into this little toboggan section, wall ride, and it gets fast again. And open it up. See pretty far ahead here. These are fun turns. These are fun turns. Little double, didn't quite clear it, and then hard on the anchors, dropping into the Fern Gully. This little section. Now, I haven't ridden in BC, but I guess that this is what it's like, and it's freaking awesome. It's tight, it's loamy, and it's fast. Now we get into another little steep, loose section. There's a little box, water box. This zone on my right side now is a cliff, so really got to creep. This little section is super loose, and you cannot go to the right there. That's the end. You go off the trail on the right there. Super loose and rocky down through this little last section, and kill the speed because we're coming out right alongside the neighbor's house, and we want them to continue to respect and enjoy that people are riding and maintaining those trails. Oh man, take a little break here. Take a look at these leaves.